Hello everyone. We are going to study perturbation method in this video. Most of the problems which come across by engineers or mathematicians or physicists will be very complex and it will be non-linear, means in degree class or in MSc class we will be dealing with equations, whether it is PDE or ODE. It won't be non-linear, it will be linear, and most of the time it will be of constant coefficient. But when we come across physical problems or real world problems, the equations are complex, non-linear, and it won't be constant coefficient, but it will be variable coefficient, ODE or PDE, and with boundary conditions or sometimes with unknown boundary conditions. The exact solution for this type of equations are sometimes not possible at all, and in few cases it will be very difficult. We can find approximate solution for this kind of problems using numerical methods or semi-analytical method, or in some cases we can find approximate solution. So, numerical methods can be obtained using computers, whether it is non-linear or non-homogeneous equation, or whether it is one dimension or two dimension or three dimension, or in general multi-dimension. Many numerical methods are there to find the solutions, and it achieves very good approximations also. Accuracy will be high using computers. But the drawback of these solutions are it cannot provide insight into the problems. We cannot understand or analyze the nature of the problem. That is one of the drawback of non-linear solution. But in exact solution we can analyze or we can understand the nature of the solution of the given problem. So in numerical method it is difficult to understand the nature, but in exact solution we can understand the nature of the problem, or we can understand the physics of the problem. So in this situation, perturbation method is also capable of finding solutions for complex or non-linear or problems with variable coefficient equations. Using perturbation method, one can find solution for complex, non-linear, variable coefficient equations. We can find solutions for non-homogeneous equations. We can find solutions for 2-dimension, 3-dimension, 4-dimension, etc. multi-dimension problems. It provides reasonably accurate expression for the solution. And we can understand the physics of the problem also. And there are two types of perturbation method. First one is parameter perturbation method. Another one is coordinate perturbation method. Now we are going to deal with parameter perturbation method. This parameter perturbation method contains a small parameter called epsilon, or that small parameter is denoted by epsilon, and the general form of the equation is L of u of x comma u is function of x and epsilon is equal to 0. So L is an operator, u is dependent variable, x is independent variable, epsilon is a small parameter which it involves, and this equation is solved with initial condition or boundary condition, and I'll take it as b of u of x comma epsilon is equal to 0. I'm taking this as equation 2. The perturbation solution of equation 1 under the condition 2 is of the form, we are going to write series solution. It is approximately equal to u naught of x plus epsilon u1 of x plus epsilon square u2 of x plus etc. The same equation we can write it as u of x comma epsilon is approximately equal to summation of n is equal to 0 to infinity. We can write this expression as epsilon power 0 u n of x. When n is 0, epsilon to the power n. When n is 0, epsilon power 0 is 1, u naught of x. We will get first term. When n is 1, epsilon power 1, u1 of x. We will get second term. When n is 2, epsilon power 2, u2 of x. We will get third term, etc. So, perturbation solution of equation 1 under the initial or boundary condition of equation 2 is given by equation 3. This is the solution. Here we have to find u naught, u1, u2, etc. So when we substitute this equation in equation 1 and 2, what we will get? L of u of x is, for convenience I will use this form, epsilon n equal to 0 to infinity, summation of n equal to 0 to infinity, epsilon power n un of x comma x comma epsilon equal to 0 under the boundary condition b of u is summation of n equal to 0 to infinity epsilon n un of x comma epsilon equal to 0. Again, parameter perturbation method is further divided into regular or straightforward parameter perturbation method and singular or non-regular parameter perturbation method. So parameter perturbation method means it involves a parameter epsilon and solution for the equation 1 is given in the summation form. Again, parameter perturbation method is further divided into regular or straightforward parameter perturbation method and singular or non-regular parameter perturbation method. A regular perturbation problem is one for which the perturbed problem for small, epsilon is small, non-zero values of epsilon is qualitatively the same as the unperturbed problem. So the value of epsilon should be same in both perturbed and non-perturbed problems, whereas in singular or non-regular perturbation problems, the values won't be same, it will not converge, it will diverge. We'll solve one problem. Find 3 terms, we have to find 3 terms of the regular perturbation solution of initial value problem u double dash plus epsilon u dash plus u equal to 0 with the initial condition u of 0 equal to a is some constant and u dash of 0 equal to 0. We have to find, this is not u, this is not w, this is u. We have to find solution for this equation. This is initial value problem. So what is the perturbation solution of this equation? U of x comma epsilon is this, right? So u is u naught of x plus epsilon u1 of x plus epsilon square u2 of x, etc. We have to write x also. Again, this is again u of x comma epsilon. What is u of 0? It is a. So when I substitute x equal to 0, u naught of 0 plus epsilon u1 of 0 plus epsilon square u2 of 0, etc. This is our perturbation solution. Here we have initial condition u of 0 equal to a. U of 0 equal to a implies x equal to 0. When x is equal to 0, u equal to a. This implies when x is 0, u is a. So put x is equal to 0, u is a. U of 0 is a. This term remains as it is. When we equate the coefficients, here coefficient is epsilon power 0 or 1, constant. If we equate the coefficient, u naught of 0 is a. Here epsilon u1 of 0 is there. When we equate the coefficient term here, u1 of 0 is, here we don't have epsilon term, we can write it as epsilon into 0, right? So u1 of 0 is 0, u2 of 0 is 0, etc. I will take the given problem or a differential equation as 1, initial and boundary conditions as 2, solution as 3. Now we have used u of 0 equal to a here. Now we are having another initial condition also, u dash of 0 equal to 0. To find u dash, differentiate equation 3. When we differentiate equation 3, u of x becomes u dash of x equal to u naught dash of x plus epsilon u1 dash of x plus epsilon square u2 dash of x plus etc. So u dash of 0 equal to 0 implies when x is 0, u dash is 0. So put x is equal to 0 here. What we will get? When we put x is equal to 0, u dash of 0 equal to u naught dash of 0 epsilon u1 dash of 0 plus epsilon square u2 dash of 0, etc. Here u dash is 0 when x is 0. So u dash is 0. We can write this as 0 plus epsilon into 0. Again it is 0 plus epsilon square into 0 plus etc. is equal to u naught dash of 0 plus epsilon u1 dash of 0 plus epsilon square u2 dash of 0 plus etc. Again when we equate the coefficients, constant term is or epsilon to the power 0 is u naught dash of 0 equal to 0. First term. Epsilon coefficient is 0 here. Epsilon coefficient is u1 dash of 0. So second term is u1 dash of 0 equal to 0. Similarly u2 dash of 0 equal to 0, etc. So this is our given problem. We are taking perturbation solution. given u of 0 equal to a, so substitute x equal to 0 here, we will get u naught of 0 equal to a, u1 of 0 equal to 0, u2 of 0 equal to 0, etc. Second initial condition is u dash of 0 equal to 0. So differentiate this equation, substitute x equal to 0, we will get u naught dash of 0 equal to 0, u1 dash of 0 equal to 0, etc. Now we are going to solve our given problem 1. Substitute the value of u in equation 1. We have to substitute equation 3 in equation 1. Equation 3 is having u, u dash, u double dash. So differentiate this equation once, we will get u dash. Differentiate this twice, we will get u double dash. So when we differentiate u naught twice, what we will get? U naught, differentiation of u naught once is u naught dash. When we differentiate twice, it is u naught double dash. U naught is not constant, it is function of x. U naught double dash of x plus epsilon u1 double dash of x plus epsilon square u2 double dash of x, etc. plus epsilon into u dash. Now we have to differentiate equation 3 once. So u naught dash of x plus epsilon u1 dash of x plus epsilon square u2 dash of x plus etc. Last one u plus u naught of x plus epsilon u1 of x plus epsilon square u2 of x plus etc. equal to 0. Now we are going to equate the coefficients of epsilon to the power 0, epsilon to the power 1, epsilon power 2, etc. Take this equation as equation 4. Equating the coefficient of epsilon naught in equation 4. We are going to equate coefficient of epsilon naught in equation 4. So coefficient of epsilon naught means here coefficient of epsilon naught is u naught double dash of x. Here we don't have epsilon naught because epsilon here. So this will be multiplied here. So this is epsilon to the power 1. This is epsilon power 2, etc. Here we don't get any terms for coefficient of epsilon naught. Here again u naught of x plus u naught of x equal to 0 because RHS is 0. Now we have to solve this. We know how to solve this equation. This is just an ordinary differential equation. Ordinary differential equation and it is RHS is 0. Means homogeneous equation. So solution for this is just complementary function. So to find complementary function, we have to find auxiliary equation. How to find the auxiliary equation? This we can write it as, this is second derivative, therefore d square plus 1 u naught of x. Our dependent variable is u naught. Generally we will take it as y. In this problem it is u naught. Now auxiliary equation can be written as m square plus 1 equal to 0. How to find root of this? To find root of this, we will get m square equal to minus 1. Therefore m is equal to plus or minus I. It is a complex root. We know how to write complementary function for complex root. And our solution is c1 cos x plus c2 sin x. To find c1 and c2, we require initial and boundary conditions or initial condition. All this is with respect to u naught. Therefore, we have to consider corresponding boundary condition. Already we have got the values u naught of 0 equal to a, u naught dash of 0 equal to a, right? First condition is u naught of 0 equal to a, u naught dash of 0 equal to a. So our initial conditions are u naught of 0 equal to a and u naught dash of 0 equal to 0. Substitute x equal to 0 here. Take it as equation 5. Substituting x equal to 0 in equation 5, u naught of 0 equal to c1, cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. U naught of 0 is a. So c1 is a. Differentiate equation 5. Differentiating equation 5, u naught dash is equal to c1 is constant. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. c2 is constant. Differentiation of sin x is cos x. Now put x equal to 0. We will get u naught dash of 0 equal to minus c1 sin 0 plus c2 cos 0. U naught dash of 0 is 0. Sin 0 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. Therefore c2 equal to 0. Therefore what is our u naught? U naught is equal to c1 is a. A cos x. c2 is 0. So our u naught is a cos x. This is our first term. Now we have to find two more terms. That is, we have to find u1 and u2. To find u1, consider the coefficient of epsilon. The coefficient of epsilon is u1 of x. If we multiply here, we will get coefficient of epsilon as u naught dash, and here coefficient of epsilon is u1. So we have to find u1 now. So I am considering coefficient of epsilon. So finding the coefficient of epsilon, we will get equation as u1 double dash of x plus u naught dash of x plus u1 of x. Again RHS is 0. We know what is u naught. U naught is a cos x. Differentiate that. u1 double dash plus differentiation of u naught. What is u naught? A cos x plus u1 of x equal to 0. Now u1 double dash plus u1 is equal to differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. If we shift this to RHS, it will become plus. So solution for this is complementary function plus particular integral also, because it is not homogeneous equation, it is non-homogeneous equation. So again, if we write auxiliary equation, so what is our auxiliary equation? M square plus 1 equal to 0. Roots are plus or minus I. Therefore complementary function is c1 cos x plus c2 sin x. I hope you remember all this procedure. Now we have to find particular integral. How to find particular integral? There are 5 types or methods to find particular integral. So first type is e power ax. I hope you remember all those things. Just as a brush up class, I will just mention how to find. If it is e power ax, we have to substitute d is equal to a, right? Provided denominator should not be 0. If it is sin x or cos x, we have to substitute d square is equal to minus a square. Third type is polynomial. Polynomial can be solved either by using division method or binomial expansion method. Using binomial expansion. Fourth type is e power ax into v. V may be sin x or cos x or polynomial. In this case, we have to replace d is equal to d plus a. Last one, x into v. We know how to find x into v. We have a formula. So here this is of second type. So we have to substitute d square is equal to minus a square. So our denominator is 1 by d square plus 1. RHS is a sin x. Coefficient of x is 1. Therefore a is 1. I'll take a1. a1 is 1. So a1 square is 1 square minus a1 square is minus 1. So if we put d square is equal to minus a1 square, denominator is 0. When denominator becomes 0, we will multiply, a is constant, we will multiply with x and we will differentiate the denominator. So differentiation of denominator. Differentiation of d square is 2d. Differentiation of 1 is 0 and sin x. So what is differentiation of, 1 by d is integration. What is integration of sin x? Minus cos x. So what is our solution? u1 complementary function plus particular integral c1 cos x plus c2 sin x minus ax by 2 cos x. Again we have to find c1 and c2. Already we have find the coefficients. So from that, first one, now we have to consider the coefficients of epsilon term. So from the coefficient of epsilon term, v1 we have u1 of 0 equal to 0 and u1 dash of 0 equal to 0. Substitute x equal to 0 in our solution, that is equation 6. Substitute x equal to 0, we will get u1 of 0 equal to c1 cos 0 plus c2 sin 0 minus a into x is 0. So cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0, c1 is 0. Next one, we have to find u1 dash. So differentiate equation u1 dash equal to c1 sin x. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. Differentiation of cos x is, differentiation of sin x is cos x minus a by 2. Here we have to use product rule. X into differentiation of cos x is minus sin x plus cos x into differentiation of x is 1. Now substitute x equal to 0 here. u1 dash of 0 is 0 minus c1 sin 0 plus c2 cos 0 is 1. This term becomes 0. Cos 0 is 1. Therefore minus a by 2. Therefore c2 is equal to a by 2. So c1 is 0. c2 is a by 2. Therefore equation becomes u1 of x is equal to a by 2 sin x minus a by 2 x cos x. This is solution for u1. We got the second term. At last we have to find third term. Now we have to find coefficients of epsilon square. If we find coefficients of epsilon square, we will get u2 of double dash plus u1 dash of x plus u2 of x equal to 0. Again RHS is 0. We got the value of u1. Differentiate this. Before that, u2 double dash plus u2 is equal to minus u1 dash. So if we differentiate our RHS, a by 2 cos x minus a by 2 cos x, differentiation of x is 1 plus a by 2 x, differentiation of cos x is sin x. Here I have used product rule. Differentiation of sin x is cos x. Here I have to use product rule. cos x into differentiation of x is 1 and cos x into differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. Minus into minus will become plus. And these two terms will get cancelled. We will have only this term. Again we have to find complementary function and particular integral. Again our equation is same. Therefore complementary function is c1 cos x plus c2 sin x. We have to find particular integral for this. This is of fifth type, or we can write this as x sin x as imaginary part of e power ix into x. For example, what is e power ix? Cos x in plus I sin x. Multiplied with x means x cos x plus I sin x. So real part of x into e power ix is x cos x. Imaginary part of x into e power ix is x into sin x. Therefore, the same term we can write it as imaginary part of e power ix into x. This will reduce to fourth type. So to avoid fifth type, I am reducing that to fourth type. So we have to find particular integral for fourth type. What is our denominator? 1 by d square plus 1 x into e power ix. And we are having a by 2 also. I'll write separately a by 2. So if it is fourth type, we have to replace d by d plus a. So we will get a by 2 is constant, e power ix. 1 by d plus a is I. D plus I whole square plus 1. And substituting d as d plus I because coefficient of x is I. D plus I 1 into x. So our denominator is x by, if we expand this using a square plus 2ab, b square is I square is minus 1 and plus 1. These two will get cancelled. This we can solve using binomial expansion method or division method. I will go for division method. So how to find solution for this? Write the quotient terms in increasing order. Constant, d term, d square term, d cube term, etc. is divided by x. Here we have to write it in descending order, higher power to lower power. Here ascending order, lower power to higher order. To find the quotient, this is divisor. To find the quotient, divide first term by first term. X by 2 di. So 1 by 2 I is constant, x by d. X by d is 1 by x by d. 1 by d is integration. So integration of x. So what is integration of x? X square by 2. So we will get x square by 4i or minus x square by multiplying and dividing by I. So I square becomes minus. So our first term in the quotient is x square by 4i. So when we multiply this two term, we will get x d square of minus x square by 4i. We have to differentiate this twice. Minus I by 4 is constant. Differentiation of x square is 2x and differentiation of 2x is 2. So we will have minus I by 2. So our remainder is I by 2. Again I by 2 divided by 2di. So I will get cancelled. 1 by 4d. Integration of constant is x. 1 by 4x. So we will get 1 by 4x. Differentiation of this is I by 2 and differentiation of x twice is 0. So remainder is 0 here. So our particular integral becomes imaginary part of e power, we have constant also, a by 2 e power ix into minus x square by 4 I plus x by 4. So if we expand this, cos x plus I sin x. When we multiply these two terms, we will get imaginary term. Therefore, minus x square by 4 cos x. If we multiply this two, that will be real part. So when we multiply this two, I into I become I square, which is again real part. And if we multiply this, we will get imaginary part. X by 4 sin x. That is not the end of the solution. We have to find C1, C2 also. So what is U2? C1 cos x plus C2 sin x plus our particular integral also, right? So we will get a by 8. I have taken 1 by 4 common. X square cos x plus x sin x minus x square cos x plus x sin x. So what is our conditions? We have u2 of 0 equal to 0 and u2 dash of 0 equal to 0. So substitute x equal to 0 here. 0 is equal to c1 cos 0 plus sin 0 is 0, 0, 0. All other terms become 0. Therefore, c1 is 0. Differentiate this. u2 dash is equal to minus c1 sin x plus c2 cos x plus a by 8 minus x square. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x minus differentiation of x square is 2x cos x. I am using product rule here. Plus x cos x plus sin x. Now substitute x equal to 0 here. u2 dash of 0 is 0. Sin 0 is 0. Cos 0 is 1. 0 here, 0, 0, sin 0 is 0 again. Therefore, we got C1 as 0, C2 as 0. Therefore, U2 is a by 8 minus x square cos x plus x sin x. So, what is our perturbation solution? U of x comma epsilon is equal to, very first term is u naught of x. So, what is our u naught of x? We already got u naught of x as a cos x plus epsilon into u1 of x. What is our u1 of x? A by 2 sin x minus ax by 2 cos x plus epsilon square u2 of x. A by 8 minus x square cos x plus x sin x. So we have to find first 3 terms. This is our first 3 terms.